This classic episode of the Electric Playground is brought to you by PNP Games, your source for everything video games. Support the partners that support Electric Playground. Remember, this episode first aired in 2000.
When I play Jedi Power Battles from LucasArts on the PlayStation, I like to eat a big, giant, chocolatey Jar Jar head. Jar Jar is good. So tell me, what is the difference between this game and, let's say, Episode 1 Phantom Menace?
Yeah, that Phantom Menace adventure game.
I think the biggest difference is that Phantom Menace really retells a story with Star Wars. We more use the Star Wars story as a backdrop to support action.
So what are the controls like? You guys using the analog controller for this thing?
We want to keep the controls really responsive and arcadey fun, but it'd probably be easier for us to show you.
Whoa! Whoa!
The controls are really simple. We've got a heavy attack. Then we've got a medium attack. And we've got a quick hack or stab attack. Then your Jedi have to move around, of course, so we've got, jump.
So what are environments in the game?
We've got 10 levels that mostly follow the story of Episode 1. It's starting from a Federation ship, moving on to the swamps of Naboo, places like the deserts in Tatooine, the palace in Thebes.
So there's tons of stuff to fight in these levels. We've got Tusken Raiders and Jawas and hundreds of battle droids.
Battle droids!
There they are.
Battle droids!
How many playable characters are there? Well, we've got 5 Jedi you can play. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, of course.
Any other weapons in the game besides lightsabers?
Each of the 5 Jedis does have their own arsenal of force powers that they can use.
You wouldn't happen to know Chewbacca's phone number, would you?
No, he asked specifically for me not to give that to him.
For more information on any of the games or stories featured on EP, visit our website at www.electplay.com.
Hey, Lee from PNP Games here. New video game hardware and advancing a generation will always be an exciting time for the industry. But one thing I can tell you for sure is we'll never see another leap forward like we did going from this generation to this generation. Stay on the cutting edge with new episodes of EP Classic every Saturday morning. Welcome to the new millennium. Oh, sorry, I'll start knocking again. Just tell them about pnpgamesonline.com. Oh, you mean your source for everything video games? Browse our inventory of video games, both retro and contemporary, with free shipping on orders of $65 Canadian more within Canada and the USA. pnpgamesonline.com! Wow! Play forever!
If you remember correctly, the game Diablo had lots of hacking and slashing in it. Well, now, our wait is finally over, and we bring you Diablo 2!
I'm here with Matt Householder at Blizzard North, and we're talking about Diablo 2. What are some of the new features in Diablo 2 that we can expect?
Well, what we've done is taken the original addictive gameplay Diablo and added a whole new set of 5 player character classes. The Sorceress, the Amazon, the Paladin, the Barbarian, and the Necromancer. But we've added to each of these 5 classes a whole new skill system of 30 skills each, which is arranged in a kind of a technology tree that allows you to develop skills as you see fit.
Now let's get into the actual story.
You appear in Diablo II in a rogue encampment where the rogues have been driven out of their ancestral monastery by Andariel, one of the lesser evils that ruled in hell along with Diablo and his two brothers, Mephisto and Bayle. One of the problems that surfaced in Diablo and Battle.net was that people were able to write trainers and actually do cheat programs. We've endeavored for Diablo II to prevent cheating on Battle.net. We actually run the games on a server, and the clients connect to that server, and all the character data is stored on our Battle.net server.
Can you show me the some of the fireballs?
Sure.
Wow. Cool. So what is this?
Well, it's a fireball. Sorcerers can fire those and cause quite a bit of damage. Now, as you add level points to the fireballs, it does more and more damage.
I think I killed somebody over there.
Hopefully it wasn't a player.
Or a programmer. The game has been delayed 2 more weeks.
What if somebody spent over $70 million to make a video game? Well, rumor has it that's what Sega spent on Yu Suzuki's next game, entitled Shenmue. The most highly anticipated title, coming soon on the Sega Dreamcast.
I have the great pleasure of standing next to Mr. Yu Suzuki. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. And we just had a wonderful presentation of your upcoming game, Shenmue.
This cinematic epic is packed with realism, from the multitude of motion-captured characters to the texture mapping of the smallest item.
I wanted to ask a little bit about the backstory on the game. Where did the idea come from for Shenmue?
Virtua Fighter 4. When he was creating Virtua Fighter series of games, he went to China, and when he saw this vast land, it really inspired him to come up with a grand story.
Beautiful. You've had a long history with Sega, and you're certainly the most respected name at Sega. Do they give you complete freedom to just create what you want to create?
Very much so.
Very
you
much.
had the control over it.
What direction were you going before you were making games? What were you doing before?
歯医者さんになろうと。Dentist.
You were dentist?
Dentist.
We saw you in the motion capture footage that you provided, and that was fascinating stuff, by the way. You were doing fighting moves with the motion capture artists. Are you a martial artist yourself?
できます。威力はないです。Style, he mastered, but it's not powerful.
Right, throughout your career, what are you most proud of?
Originality だと思います。Originality?
Yes.
だからさっきアメリカで You asked about the American market and American audiences.
Yes.
He believes that Americans really value the originality.
Definitely.
Therefore, he believes that Americans would, understand and value this game. Yes, I hope. So he hopes.
An honor to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I can't wait to play Shenmue.
Jared, let me ask you a question. In interactive entertainment, our industry, a lot of, we're attacked by government, Congress about, video game violence, and you really deal with the same issues kind of in your, genre. What kind of things do you see happening in the next year or two about that? Are they gonna come down more upon us? Or?
Well, I think we all have to be responsible. As long as the message about fighting is negative, then kids aren't going to say, gee, I want to do that.
Any final thoughts on video games?
Enjoy them. Life's short. Enjoy life when you're there. And if a video game is what makes you happy, plug away.
For more information on any of the games or stories featured on EP, visit our website at www.electplay.com.
Hey, what's your favorite video game of all time? No way, that's mine too! Celebrate video games along with myself and Victor Lucas every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on youtube.com/EPNTV. Brought to you in part proudly by PNP Games. Play forever!
I'm here at Psygnosis with Steve Patterson, the producer of Metal Fatigue. What exactly is Metal Fatigue?
Metal Fatigue is Psygnosis' entry into real-time strategy games. We're working with a great team called Zono, and they're in Orange County.
Is that kind of like Zoe?
Kind of like Zoe. Very much like Zoe. They're a great bunch of guys. I've gone down there before we started working on this project, and we used to play real-time strategy all the time. And they said, hey, we've got this great technology that allows us to have very animated characters. What if we were to mix that into a real-time strategy game so you have like this really fierce combat battles?
Can you give us your best impression of a combat and battle?
No, you have your slow guys that are very heavy and bulky, and they're all... And you get the flying guys, and got stealth guys that you can't see them like that. They disappear. And it features reconfigurable robots. Over 20 different unique arms, legs, and torsos built from all the great things you remember from anime cartoons. You have drill trucks that burrow underground and can tunnel through Earth. You have hover bombers, you have hover jets, you have Nemesis trucks that explode. There are 3 different teams, and they all have their own unique arms, legs, and torsos. Once you steal a part, you can put it on immediately or take it back to your base, research it, and then basically create combats like the enemies has and use them against him.
What are some of the weapons that we can see in the game?
There are 3 different types of corporations. One of them are the good guys, and those have well-rounded, good offensive and defensive weapons. You've got another team called Milagro. Those guys are the bad boys, low-tech. They build stuff like hammers and axes and just beat on you until you're done. And then you've got Naroka, which are the high-tech guys. They were able to take this technology that they found and incorporate the best, and so they've got stealth weapons and things like that.
There's sort of a storyline that we're following through the game.
Oh, absolutely. The 3 corporations start on an exploration through space, following this technology from an alien group, and they learn from that how to make these giant robots. 3 groups get a little bit greedy, and that's how the war breaks out.
You're saying there's all these different levels, not just playing on the land.
Yeah, we also decided we're going to have 3 different layers you're playing with simultaneously. So you've got this orbital layer, there's no fog of war, no shroud, so anything you're doing, you can't sneak around. There's a surface layer where you have fog of war, you can see the terrain, but you don't know what's going on until you actually explore the area. And then you've got underground where there's the shroud, everything's completely black except for where your units are. And you have the ability to bring units down through elevators and drill around and bring them back up underneath, behind defense lines. You have the ability to take flying units and fly them between the surface and the air.
Well, thanks for the time, and I think that we should go back to a little more of that mech action you had going on.
Take me on?
Yeah, okay. Wanna go?
This is my Excitebike 64 intro. I'm here at Nintendo headquarters with Brian the Man.
That's right.
Who is our Nintendo operative inside, giving us all the information. And what we're talking about today is Excitebike.
Excitebike 64.
This is what I'm looking forward to.
Oh, it's fantastic. It got all the realistic movements, all the realistic, bike turns, all the realistic physics, big jumps, big airs, smaller jumps, so you have to actually determine how big you're gonna jump, how small you're gonna jump. The characters have their own different abilities and between jumping and turning and speed and landing. It's not just some jump better than others, it's like turning and everything. The bikes are so realistic between the power slide, the acceleration, the jumps.
Tell me about how the control works
heel
here.
kick. Well, you control with a control stick.
Right.
And A is gas, B is brake.
B is brake.
Right. And if you hold your R button, you can power slide through the turns. You know how you always see, the motorbikes always just come into a turn and they kick out their back tire?
Yep.
If you hold the B into it, you'll cut it real sharp for those sharp turns.
Okay, cool. And what about the trigger?
The trigger is your...
shoot.
No.
Aww.
Turbo.
Turbo.
Okay,
Just
it's your
as good
turbo.
as shoot.
You got it. So you can zoom past other people. And as you're hitting a jump, if you let go of turbo and hit it again, you'll get your power band. So you just hit that jump and zoom off.
And it goes vroom.
You got it. It's vroom.
Vroom. Any other controls that we should know? What about the yellow
buttons? The yellow button up here, C up.
Yeah.
It controls your view, and C down, you use the control stick and the R button for tricks.
And what are some of them? They got like tabletops?
They got a fender kiss, they got the nothing, they got...
What's the nothing?
Well, you just kind of...
Nothing.
Nothing. You just let go of the bike and just let it out,
Okay.
Each one of them has their own certain special secret move. So there's 20 tracks that are already built in the game that you have to race through to become the champion. And with novice, pro, and amateur.
All right, well, hey, I'm going to get back to Excitebike here.
All right.
And thanks for sharing all the info on Excitebike.
For more information on any of the games or stories featured on EP, visit our website at www.electplay.com.
We went to find out what it takes to make one of the leading video game magazines on the planet. Insight Video Game Magazine. Maybe we'll find out why they put so many subscription cards in these things.
Hi, we're down here at Computech Media with Sharon Lowe, who is the Director of Marketing for Insight Video Gaming, Insight PC Gaming, and InsightGames.com. How you doing, Sharon?
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. So we're here to find out how you guys put your magazines together, your Insight Video Gaming, Insight PC Gaming magazines.
Well, actually, it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people on the staff. Actually, for all 3 of our publications, we have about 10 to 12 people on each staff.
Cool.
And so they're constantly working. It goes from planning, it goes from production, and goes into printing.
You start out, obviously, just getting the assignment. Then you actually go in and play the game for a few hours. Eventually, you'll get enough of a play time in that you can get an accurate assessment of what the game is. And then it comes down to actually writing a review.
I really encourage people to inject humor and interesting story. I mean, a lot of game reviews are so formulated. It's like, talk a little about the story, you talk about the graphics, and then you kind of give an overall opinion. But to me, that seems boring.
Because the whole point behind our reviews and our previews too is to be as funny and as engaging as possible and actually try and keep it relatively short.
And then it starts going into assembly. Now, who puts all that stuff together? Is it the art director?
Exactly. We actually have a creative director and
Right.
a couple of art directors under him.
Okay.
And so we actually have an art director that works on Insight PC Gaming specifically.
Right.
And we have an art director that works on Insight Video Games specifically. And
Do
we
they
have
cross over, I guess?
They do not cross over at all.
Really?
And we have the creative director who manages both of the art directors. So he actually makes sure that there's consistency between the 2 magazines.
First of all, we look to really strong imagery, look to come up with compelling and bold cover lines, and we try to make the magazine as different as we possibly can.
Derek Jeter's, the hottest player in baseball from the World Champs. He's kind of young, he's hip, so he's a perfect cover subject, plus he's a huge gamer.
Design is crucial to Insight PC Gaming. We try and maintain a fresh approach. We want to get out there with a lot of vitality and vigor, and I think that our design reflects that. We have the highest class of designers in any magazine, in my opinion, and those guys really know what they're doing. They do a great job for us.
Usually when that comes back, Greg or whoever it is that tells us it's ready says, oh, you gotta go chop your text. And so we have to go in and choose what we don't think is that important and take it out, or like rewrite it a little bit or something.
Once the design is approved and the copy editing is approved, then it comes back to me and I give the final approval on it. And then we pass that on to the production department.
45 countries around the world.
Yes.
So is it in different languages out there too?
It's just exported. It's still in English,
Yeah.
but it's exported to 45 different countries. English,
Cool.
obviously, speaking countries.
Name all those countries, please.
I think that gamers have been very receptive to Insight PC Gaming's use of celebrities and good-looking women in the magazine, because these are adult men that have other things to do than just play video games. They love video games. Video games are their passion, and they've been really craving a magazine that will, incorporate all of these things into their lifestyle.
Well, thanks for having us down, Sharon.
For more information on any of the games or stories featured on EP, visit our website at www.electplay.com.
Welcome back. We're studying the Pokemon Red and Blue Pokedex to learn everything we can about these 151 miracles known as Pokemon. Today, our focus is on the ground-type Pokemon known as Cubone. Because it never removes its skull helmet, no one has ever seen this Pokemon's real face. That's metal. The skull it wears belongs to its deceased mother. What? When it becomes... No, hold on. Go back one. All Cubones wear the skulls of their deceased mothers? That's correct. Also, when it becomes lonesome, probably for its deceased mother, it cries loudly. Tune in to the Electric Playground Classic every Saturday for a heaping helping of video game history and sometimes disturbing Pokemon facts. Why would Game Freak design such a precious little guy and do that to him?
So what do you think about Battlezone, the Rise of the Black Dogs for the Nintendo 64?
Why did they publish this game?
Well, you know what I think the problem is, and you gotta have to give credit to Crave for thinking this game could do well on a Nintendo 64. The game is so advanced, the Nintendo 64 can't deal with it.
Oh, come on.
No, it can't. There's too much stuff going on in this game.
The graphics are absolutely
Absolutely.
That's a new one.
They're absolutely ridiculous. Graphics suck. The sound is probably some of the most annoying, crappy music I've ever heard.
I think if any of the consoles should have gotten Battlezone, though, it should have been the Dreamcast.
There's like battle mode and there's arcade mode, and you know what? They're all trash.
What do you get Battlezone there, buddy?
It gets 2 explosions.
2 explosions.
2 explosions.
Well, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. So what'd you think of Force Commander for the PC, LucasArts' Star Wars real-time strategy game?
How long have we been waiting for this?
A long, long time ago.
That's right. And where was it supposed to come out?
In a galaxy far, far away.
I wish it would have stayed there. The reality is this, is that the graphics are 2 years old, because that's when they, you know, were supposed to finish this
Well,
game.
it's not just the graphics, it's a 3D engine. The only reason that I would say check this game out is because it's got Star Wars, and it has the license in the vehicles, and you can command units. I like the waypoint mechenism. It's really easy to get that stuff and to group your units. It's really easy to do all that kind of stuff.
You know what I didn't care too much for was the whole, like, the interface takes up like a third of the screen.
I know, that's crazy.
I mean, it pops up and it's like, wait a second, what is this, widescreen mode?
And it would be okay if it was good looking, but it looks like crap. I'd actually play it because it's Star Wars. I think I'd play it all the way through. I'd get online and play other friends and fans of Star Wars. But you know, that's really becoming not enough to recommend a game anymore.
It's just, you know,
it comes
not,
undone. The graphics aren't good enough. The interface isn't
too
good
little,
enough.
too late.
Yeah.
Too little, too late.
Well, I'm going to give it a 6.5. You know, I'm still going to play it.
I get a 5.8.
5.8?
5.8.
We're going to talk about Armored Core Master of Arena.
Hundreds of thousands of different combinations. To me, every single mech looks exactly the same.
Well, they all kind of do the same stuff.
Yeah, you can have hundreds of thousands of them, but for the most part, they all look exactly the same. So who cares?
You've got your mission-based gameplay, so you're going through the things and you earn money and you get weapons and you buy and make your mech tougher. But then you also have your arena mode where you can battle other players or you can battle computer challengers.
It is the most in-depth mech game ever in the history of the planet.
Exactly.
2 discs for a mech game. They would have spent the time they took to make this such an in-depth game and put it into, let's say, I don't know, the graphics?
Yeah.
Because the graphics blow.
Yeah.
The graphics bite, blow. They spent way too much time.
They bite, blow, and suck at the same time.
They do. Can't even use the analog stick.
Yeah, it doesn't use
What's
the
up
analog
with that?
controller.
It vibrates, but it doesn't use the analog stick.
You can tell they've just used the exact same engine that they used to make the first Armored Core.
I'm going to give it a 5.5.
I'd give it a 6 out of 10. We're on to Sword of the Berserk. Guts Rage.
Guts Rage.
Isn't it? It's just a killer.
Well, Guts is the name of the character.
Yeah,
we must say that.
With the wonky eye, but he can kick ass with his big sword.
I always try to click through the intros and everything.
Yeah, me too.
The story in this game is truly awesome. Yeah, it really is.
And the way they've done it all together. I mean, the Dreamcast can handle graphics like this, so it looks really slick, and it's very seamless between the CG cut sequences and the gameplay. It's like Soul Calibur style graphics meets Final Fight meets Resident Evil. Because you're basically walking into different camera angles and slashing your way through all kinds of bad guys.
I wish there were more hack and slash moves. I mean, you can only really do, you know, there's 2 buttons out of all the ones on the Dreamcast that are actually hack and slash.
Some projectile weapons and stuff.
There's Berserk mode where the whole screen gets red and he's like, ah! And he starts going crazy. That's good stuff.
That is very
How many games, though, can you say have a naked elf with green hair called Puck? Now, how many times?
Not many. This is a game you play through once, and then you're kind of done with it.
I give it an 8.5.
Wow, that's
very high.
Way too much.
I like it.
Way too much.
Like it lots.
I give it a 6.5.
Oh, give me a break.
6.5 out of 10.
How can you give it that?
Because there's no replay in it, man, and it should have been 2-player.
But it involves you so much into the storyline that you love it.
It's a one-player game.
Must buy.
It's okay.
Must buy.
No, it's not.
Okay.
6.5 out of 10. Rent it first.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, let's blast out of here.
No, see, mine was funnier.
Mine was better, though. It's the delivery.
Look,
it's all the delivery.
You can find all the games featured in Reviews in the Run and hundreds more at all Microplay locations across North America. Remember, Microplay, buy, rent, sell, trade.
If you like this week's show, then you're definitely going to like next week's show. So come back and see us next week. Of course, if you didn't like this week's show, then you're probably not going to want to come back.
Production assistance for Electric Playground is provided by M-Player, Earth's free multiplayer gaming service. Sony Computer Entertainment, makers of Siphon Filter 2 for PlayStation. And Computech Media, publishers of Insight Video Gaming, Insight PC Gaming, and Insight.com.
It's called Shenmue, the most highly anticipated. And I was so sure about it too. Anticipated.
Give me that!
This classic episode of the Electric Playground was brought to you by PNP Games, your source for everything video games. Support the partners that support the Electric Playground. Thanks for watching, and play forever.